Welcome to Powered by Snowflake, a series where I interview technology leaders building applications and businesses on Snowflake. I'm your host, Daniel Myers, and today I'm talking with Erik Holt, Vice President of Global Channels at Optimove. Optimove is the first customer-led marketing platform powered by Snowflake. Erik, how are you today?
Daniel, it's great to see you. Awesome to meet you finally.
And so tell me more about Optimove and, in your own words, what is Optimove?
So Optimove is the first customer-led marketing platform powering predictive segmentation, orchestration, and channel execution for enterprise marketers. We are the only customer-led marketing platform powered by the combination of real-time, historical, and batch data, AI-led multi-channel journey orchestration, and statistically credible multi-touch attribution at every marketing touchpoint. That's Optimove in a nutshell.
That is pretty exciting. Now, tell me more, what exactly do you mean by customer-led marketing platform?
Customer-led means everything that we do tries to facilitate our customers knowing their customers better. By doing that, brands can then increase the loyalty for life based on those interactions. We believe that if we can equip brands with access to their customer data, that they will find their customers' loyalty for life.
That's really cool. So how did you get involved in this space? What's your background? And tell me how exactly did you get involved at Optimove?
So I have been with Optimove since May 2021. I'm VP of Global Channels, as you mentioned. And I've spent the better part of 20 years in leading MarTech and digital media companies, roles spanning corporate business development, product strategy, ecosystem development, which is kind of the role that I'm in today. And it's been a fun ride. Obviously, a lot's been going on in MarTech in the last couple decades, and I'm super excited to land at Optimove.
That's pretty cool. So tell me more about also the history of Optimove itself. When was it founded? What's your growth rate and trajectory today?
So Optimove's got a pretty cool story. The company started in 2010 and really rooted in academia. So our founder and CEO, Penny Aquel, and his co-founder met at a university in Tel Aviv and really had an idea for really the current incarnation of Optimove today is predictive orchestration. Penny and his co-founder actually ran a services business around that same idea, which was trying to help brands augment their marketing strategy. Move to today, we basically have a fully productized version of that original service offering, powering predictive decisioning, segmentation, and channel execution.
So tell me more about how does Snowflake fit into the platform that you've built at Optimove?
Yeah, I mean, listen, part of our promise to customers is having access to a combination of different types of data sets, whether that's historical, real-time, or predictive data. And using a powerful data warehouse and system to be able not only to have the processing power to do that for our customers, but also to be able to offer increasing data sharing capabilities because we generate a lot of rich, unique insights inside the Optimove platform. A lot of our customers want to use that outside of the Optimove experience. They want to be able to slice and dice that data in their own internal tools. So using a system like Snowflake with the powerful data sharing capabilities is really the direction that we're going in.
That makes a lot of sense, and it really seems like Snowflake is an ideal fit for what you're trying to build.
Yeah, I think not only what we've built and doing it better, but where we're going tomorrow. And in enterprise MarTech, the idea behind personalization at scale means there's a lot of data points flowing around in a lot of different directions, in a lot of different times. And to have a scalable and system that can handle the capacity, and we don't know where we're going to be as an organization 2 or 3 years from now, it's important to have an enterprise DW that provides that scale.
So from here, I want to shift gears a little bit and see a demo of this platform that you've built.
Yeah, awesome. We love showing our product. I think before we do that, I want to talk about one of the important points about how Snowflake is helping ameliorate some of our data sharing and processing environments, right? So one of the important things is what the data needs to come into in what position it needs to come into the actual product. And so we have a lot of different our clients have a lot of data in a lot of different stores. Could be in an S3 bucket, could be in a web analytics tool, could be anywhere, right? And so we combine those data sets and bring them in. And I think using Snowflake to be able to do that with more power is really the direction that we want to go in. So I think the way that we handle the data in terms of the onboarding is very specific to us. That gives our customers a lot of flexibility in a bespoke model as they're using the tool. So in order to use Snowflake's data sharing, we can talk about this a little bit later, is really helping us speed up the time to value as we onboard and then create the instance of Optimove. So Customer 360 is really our single customer view. So we have a customer data platform at Optimove as part of our offering. It's a part of what we do. We are not a CDP by definition. But when you talk about Customer 360, this is really the page that brings together all the data available on individual customers, right? It's that golden record. So it could be demographic details, could be histories of interaction with your business. It's all tied together right here. Fundamentally, if you're doing predictive orchestration, you need to have the concept of single identity inside the system to be able to run the analytics and the orchestration on top of. So Customer 360, again, is the starting point for CDP inside of Optimove. From there, this is really the eureka moment. This is the customer model inside Optimove. This is the first time that Optimove customers get to see their segmentation from their unique data stores inside Optimove. And really, this is what we call lifecycle stages. These are mutually exclusive stages, typically visitors, registered users, new users, active users, propensity to churn. And we're giving value and breaking those down for the first time. So many times, our customers look at this and they can't believe what they're seeing in terms of, hey, some of the predictions that I made about these segments, I was wrong. I thought that group would be a little bit larger than that group. Many ways, this is the first time they've seen their data cut like this. So there's a lot of emotion and feeling that goes into it, and then some analysis that happens before action is taken. The other part about our lifecycle stages is it keeps going a layer down. So while you have these mutual exclusive life stages, the segmentation layers actually drill down a layer to give you more value. And these are key aspects of each customer's behavior as they are described by a set of segmentation layers for each lifecycle stage. It gets pretty confusing pretty fast, but here's the key point. Whether it's a segmentation layer or a micro segment, Optimove is allowing you to target right down to the individual or a small group of individuals or an increasingly larger set. But even still, with the data available, those messages can be personalized. So our customer model is really the first time that our users digest their data before they start packaging segments together and then actually going to execute campaigns. Let me share with you our Customer Explorer, because this is where, for the first time, marketers start to build segments to be able to execute on campaigns. So we're going to run a couple tests here so you can see the ease of use and the power of Optimove. And this is actually kind of cool where Snowflake's computing power helps us do this. So let's go ahead and create a few target groups just so you can see the power of what we're doing here. So we're going to create a Snowflake test, and we're going to look for all new users that are under the age of 50. Right? And you can see here as I'm going into the selection criteria, I'm choosing the attributes, and I'm looking for folks that are under 50. And when I hit show on group size, boom, the calculation of 4,322 immediately available. That's on the backs of Snowflake. Before this, we had essentially a delay in our ability to make those computations and being able to offer this service into our customers. So this is very powerful. Look how easy it was. You can immediately see the size of that segment, and this information is updated in real time.
It's pretty exciting to see how easy you've made building these types of customer exploring attributes across your data in Snowflake. I mean, it's pretty cool.
So once you've run the group, and in this case we saw 4,322 size, we can actually drill down and start seeing the key group characteristics of that amount. So whether it's life cycle stage, or what country they're in, days since last order, days since registration, here where I have total order amount, as you can see immediately pop. Those are the types of things that immediately start to get marketers excited as they look to segment their different campaigns. Also here at the bottom, and just because we talked about our CDP before, you can actually see the top 100 customers associated to this segment, and you can drill down individually back into their Customer 360 profile to see that data.
I love this. I mean, this is, as you said, I mean, a very powerful platform that you can drill down into these groups and get that information.
We only have a little time here. The power of our tool, we could spend all day and get you excited about the different use cases, but hopefully you're starting to understand the power of what Optimove's predictive models are able to do. There's a lot of different campaigns that are running in Optimove at any one time. We're not going to go through the campaign execution part here today, but what we're looking at right now is mission control. And mission control is really the place where a customer can see all of their campaigns cut across the different values at the top, right? So the rows are the individual campaigns, and the columns actually represent a value or a set of criteria that we're judging against. And this is a place where, again, you can start to manage, in many ways, the scale that the system creates. What we're trying to do is automate the personalization process for enterprise marketers. By doing that, you create a lot of volume. So you need to have an interface that allows you to manage that quickly and make decisions. So mission control is something that we've launched over the last year and has had a ton of positive feedback from our customers about ease of use. And hey, you're actually helping me find clarity in my marketing campaigns.
So from here, tell me about how did you choose Snowflake as the data cloud to build this platform on top of?
Yeah, so we've been using Snowflake since January 2020. And we had an informal RFP process. We didn't do a POC. Brand equity was key here. We felt like reputation preceded itself. We were obviously very familiar with Snowflake. And for a few years, we were deciding what kind of investment that we wanted to do. So we had looked at some other enterprise level players. But I think the key, well, obviously we can talk about the data warehousing piece and the computing power and the analytical prowess. The key for us was the data sharing. We need to be able to share the rich segments and attributes and the value creation that we have on our own tool with our customers in external tools, their own BI systems, right? Their own QA, their own segmentation. So that's really the key in the journey that we're on. Unequivocally, we felt Snowflake was the best data sharing capability system, and we wanted to lean into that.
That makes a lot of sense. And I love that you really called out that data sharing capability, because to the developers that I talk to, it doesn't always instantly click for them on the power of data sharing and how that can radically simplify your architecture when building your applications.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely paramount. And again, specifically to us, and I think this is important, the way that we value that is that because we're creating such unique custom insights and attributes in our system, the fact that those need to be shared externally with increasing veracity. In other words, you can't control, just because we're offering those levels of detail, we don't want them to not be used in other systems, right? We're not trying to create a land grab here. So a system like Snowflake, obviously, in developer first, APIs, micro-based services, we're doing a lot of things to extend the value, but this is a big part of our global growth strategy, not just our data or our product strategy.
Makes total sense. So from here, what are some of the biggest features of Snowflake? You mentioned already the data sharing capability, right? How has the ability to have kind of that low zero copy cloning ability for your product, where it's not actually duplicating the data on disk, has that provided a large amount of impact for you and your business?
The impact is difficult to quantify. It's more of a feeling and the vibe and the feedback that we're getting from our customers about what took you so long.
Yeah.
You're creating all of this tremendous insight into Optimove, and now you're letting me extrapolate that and use it in my own internal tools and cut it the way that I want to, right? I mean, that's versus copying it, that is a massive win for us. So we're starting to lean into that as we grow our global operations. We're starting to lead with that. This is hey, not only we're using Snowflake for our own enterprise DW, we're actually utilizing the secure data sharing. SnowShare is a really important part for us, and that's the value that I think our customers are like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted from Optimove, and here we are.
That is really exciting. So from here, what should your customers of Optimove get really excited about over the next 6 to 12 months?
There's so much. I mean, we have been It's been a 10-year journey. I think the next 3 or 4 years is going to be super important. We did take a Series B of 75 million about a year ago, and we're going to be applying that to a lot of cool initiatives. One is vertical M&A. So earlier, we've made 2 acquisitions this year. One was a company called Cumulos, which improved our mobile marketing capabilities. Think about mobile push and in-app messaging and capabilities. And then a company called Graphite, which really gave us real-time content personalization at scale. So think about Netflix type of model to be able to associate and show content. From there, I think we're going to make investments in architecture as well as our go-to-market machine. The company was originally based in EMEA, and over the last 4 or 5 years, we've tried to grow out into the Americas with the idea that predictive marketing orchestration is a global initiative.
Awesome. So for our viewers today, where should they go to learn more about you or about Optimove?
So go to optimove.com, check out our videos on YouTube. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'd love to talk to anyone in the space. And just get excited about this. Again, marketing technology has been I think a good driver of some of the data use cases that we're talking about today. It's certainly not the only industry that's on it, but it's something very intimate to us, and certainly the experience with Snowflake so far has helped us with our customers.
Well, Erik, I want to say a big thank you for joining me in the studio today.
Thank you, sir. It's fun.
It's been great having you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. Thanks.
And thanks to everyone watching. To see more interviews like this with tech leaders building applications on Snowflake, check out our other videos on YouTube and be sure to subscribe. My name is Daniel Myers, and this has been another episode of Powered by Snowflake.